Namaste my dear students, welcome back to physics online class. In the last class, our discussion was about parallel plate capacitor. What is the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor? What is the effect of dielectric medium when the dielectric medium is introduced between the plates of capacitor, and what are the different possibilities in introducing dielectric medium between the plates of capacitor. Let us continue our discussion. Now, we know that a capacitor is nothing but it is a device, capacitor is a device which is used to store charge or electrical energy. Okay. So, the device which is used to store charge or electrical energy is a capacitor. Now, how to store charge in a capacitor? The process of adding energy or adding charge to the capacitor is called charging of a capacitor. Okay. Charging of a capacitor. Now, let us discuss how exactly a capacitor is charged. Now, we know that a capacitor is nothing but it is a system of two conductors, identical conductors separated by a dielectric medium. In between the conductors there will be a dielectric medium. Now, let us consider the case of parallel plate capacitor. Now, this is first plate of capacitor, this is second plate of capacitor. We know that in one of the plate positive charge is stored, the second place is grounded plate in which charging by induction takes place. Due to that, equal amount of negative charge will be stored or induced in case of second plate of the capacitor. Now, let us consider how exactly a capacitor is charged, or what is the charging of what do you mean by charging of a capacitor? A capacitor can be charged by connecting the capacitor to some external battery or cell. A battery or a cell. It is nothing but it is a device which is used to produce potential difference between 2 points. Okay, potential difference between 2 points. Now, in case of a cell, there are two terminals. The circuit symbol of a battery or cell is this one. In case of a cell, larger line represents positive terminal. We call this as positive terminal of the battery, and smaller line represents negative terminal of the battery. Okay. Now, in this case, we connected first plate, that is left plate of capacitor to positive terminal of the battery, and right plate of capacitor is connected to negative terminal of the battery. Initially, in the absence of this external battery, amount of charge stored in this conductor is 0. This conductor is also equal to 0. That means capacitor is now in uncharged condition. Charge is 0 means this plate will have equal amount of positive and negative charges. In case of this plate also, equal amount of positive and negative charges will be there. With this condition, we connected this capacitor to a battery, positive terminal and negative terminal of the battery. Let V be the potential difference produced by this battery, or it is called EMF of cell. Okay. Now, when a capacitor is connected like this first plate or left plate of capacitor carries equal amount of positive and negative charges. Now, this is connected to positive terminal of the battery. Now, this positive terminal of the battery attracts negatively charged electrons or removes negatively charged electrons from first plate or left plate of the capacitor. This is positive terminal. Okay. We know that positive, there will be force of attraction between positive and negative charges. Now, this is positive terminal. So, this positive terminal will attract negatively charged electrons from this neutral plate or uncharged plate of the capacitor. When electrons are removed from this plate, uncharged plate, number of positive charges increases, or number of negative electrons are removed. Therefore, number of electrons or amount of negative charge in this plate decreases. As a result of this, slowly this plate becomes positively charged. As time passes, this plate becomes positively charged. Okay. Next, the electrons removed from first plate of the capacitor or left plate of the capacitor is delivered to right plate of the capacitors. Equal amount of negative charges, whatever the charge is removed from this plate will be delivered to negative plate, second plate of the capacitor, so that here amount of negative charge increases with the time. Magnitude wise, amount of positive charge in this plate is equal to amount of negative charge in the second plate of the capacitor. Initially, capacitor was in uncharged condition, amount of charge stored in this plate is 0, this plate is also equal to 0. As time passes, after connecting battery, as time passes, electrons are removed from this plate, so amount of positive charge in this plate increases, those electrons are delivered to this plate, so amount of negative charge in this plate increases. Okay. Now electrons are removed from left plate of the capacitor, therefore this is positively charged, this plate is now positively charged. Now this process is called charging a capacitor. Now this process, charging of a capacitor continues until, see here initially magnitude of charge in capacitor was 0. We know that potential is directly proportional to Q. Okay, we have discussed this condition in earlier classes. V is directly proportional to Q. So when Q is equal to 0, potential difference or potential between the plates of capacitor will be 0. No potential difference between the plates of capacitor. As magnitude of charge stored in the capacitor Q increases, potential difference between the plates of capacitor, see C indicates potential difference between the plates of capacitor, this value also increases. Now this charging process continues until potential difference across the plates of capacitor becomes equal to applied potential difference, that is potential difference produced by the battery. If it is a 5 volt battery, okay, 5 volt battery, the charging process will continue until the potential difference between the plates of capacitor becomes 5 volt. When this condition reaches, charging process at this particular stage, charging process stops, or we can say that capacitor is fully charged or charging process stops, and at this time instant of time magnitude of charge stored in the capacitor will be maximum, that can be represented as Q. Amount of charge stored in the plates of capacitor or in the capacitor will be maximum. Okay, maximum amount of charge will be stored. So at this point charging stops. Okay. No further addition of charge to the capacitor or no further removal of charge from the capacitor is possible. After charging a capacitor, fully charging a capacitor, if you remove this external battery, whatever the charge added to the capacitor during charging process will be retained by the capacitor. Charge will be here only. So this charge is stored in electric field. We know that capacitor stores charge in the form of electric field between the plates of capacitor. So it is stored like this. Okay. After fully charging the capacitor, if this capacitor is connected to some external component, for example a resistor, there will be flow of charges from one plate to another, actually electrons from here to here, negative to positive, so that discharging of capacitor takes place. After fully charging the capacitor, if you remove the battery and connect some other component, a resistor or a bulb to the capacitor, then charges will flow from one plate to another, so that amount of charge stored in the capacitor decreases, and the process is called discharging of a capacitor. Okay. So now this is how a capacitor is charged. A capacitor can be charged by connecting capacitor to some external battery. Positive terminal removes negative charges from left plate, in this case of the capacitor, so it becomes positively charged. Those electrons are delivered to another plate of the capacitor, second plate of the capacitor, so it becomes negatively charged. And if plus Q is the amount of charge stored in the first plate, then amount of charge stored in the second plate will be minus Q. Okay, magnitude wise same, equal. So now How to calculate the amount of charge stored or potential difference between the plates of capacitor? Let C be the capacitance of the capacitor. Let C be the capacitance of the capacitor. Generally it is expressed in terms of microfarad or picofarad, okay, capacitance values, okay. Next, if Q is the amount of charge stored in the capacitor when it is fully charged, with the help of a battery of V, okay, if V is the potential difference between the plates of capacitor, then relation between these three quantities is Q is equal to V into C. If a capacitor is connected to a battery of V volt, if its capacitance is equal to C, then amount of charge stored in that capacitor is given by V into C. For example, if I connect a capacitor of 10 microfarad to a battery of potential difference 5 volt, charging of capacitor takes place, and due to charging, amount of charge stored in the capacitor is given by Q is equal to V into C. So Q is equal to V is 5 into 10 microfarad, that is 10 into 10 power minus 6, which is equal to 50 into 10 power minus 6 is micro. It is amount of charge, so amount of charge stored is equal to 50 microcoulomb. Okay, if potential difference is given and if capacitance is given, then you can calculate the amount of charge stored in the capacitor using this formula. Actually, this is from definition of capacitance. Q divided by V is C. We have discussed this in earlier classes. Similarly, if Q is the amount of charge stored in the capacitor of capacitance C, potential difference between the plates of capacitor. If Q and C values are given, we can calculate V value, that is given by Q divided by C. If amount of charge is given, capacitance is given, then potential difference between the plates of capacitor can be calculated using this formula Q divided by C to calculate the potential difference. One more possibility, if Q and V values are given, capacitance is given by Q divided by V. Okay, remember these three conditions. Relation between capacitance, amount of charge and potential difference between the plates of capacitor. Q is equal to Vc. Q is equal to Vc. Okay, remember this equation. For other conditions, just rearrange the equation. This is how a capacitor is charged. I think it is clear. So next is next part is combination of capacitors. Combination of capacitors or capacitances. See, if you consider a capacitor, I think you might have seen the capacitor in an electronic. It is the one of the main component of any electronic circuit. Capacitor is there in fan. We call it as condenser. Condenser is capacitor. Any other electronic circuit you will find a capacitor. Its structure is somewhat like this. A cylinder with the two connecting terminals. This is called electric capacitor. Ceramic capacitor, it will be somewhat like this. Two connecting points and capacitor. See, in any capacitor, while mentioning the value of capacitor, what is its capacitance? While mentioning the capacitance of the capacitor, two factors will be mentioned. For example, in case of a capacitor, if it is mentioned like this, for example, some 100 microfarad, 250 ohm. In a capacitor, while mentioning the capacitance value, it will be given like this in a capacitor. Okay. Now 100 microfarad represents C is equal to 100 microfarad, that is its capacity. Its capacity is equal to 100 microfarad. And one more potential difference value or voltage rating or voltage value will be given in a capacitor. Now this 250 volt represents maximum allowed potential difference between the plates of capacitor. That means you can connect that capacitor in a circuit, you can use that capacitor in an electronic circuit up to a particular limit. So you can increase the potential difference between the plates of capacitor up to 250 volt. Okay. Beyond 250 volt, if you increase the potential difference between the plates of capacitor beyond 250 volt, between the plates of capacitor we know that there is dielectric medium. Okay. At this point, electric field between the plates of capacitor becomes maximum, so that it becomes equal to dielectric strength of the dielectric medium used in that particular capacitor. If you further increase the potential difference, electric field crosses it, electric field becomes greater than dielectric strength of the capacitor. When that electric field crosses the dielectric strength of the capacitor, we know that dielectric breakdown takes place. Breakdown means ionization of dielectric takes place, so that the dielectric in this region changes its state from non-conducting to conducting. Once the dielectric medium reaches that conducting state, charges, whatever the charge stored in two plates of the capacitor will flow through this part, so that capacitor completely gets discharged, or we can say that capacitor gets damaged. Okay. So that rating will be mentioned in a capacitor. Along with its capacitance value, a potential value will be given. It is the maximum possible potential difference between the plates. If that potential difference value exceeds that given rating value or given value, then dielectric breakdown occurs in case of that particular capacitor. Okay, just remember this. Next concept is combination of capacitors. Okay, combination of capacitors. Now, manufacturers of or companies, capacitor manufacturing companies manufacture only standard values of capacitors. Few values of capacitances are called standard values. Only those values will be manufactured by the companies. Okay. In a circuit, if you want to connect a capacitor whose value is other than a standard value, okay, other than a standard value, then to get that particular value of capacitor of that particular value, you have to use combination of capacitor. For example, 10 microfarad, if it is standard value, then company will manufacture this 10 microfarad. Another standard value, let it be 20 microfarad. Okay, 20 microfarad. Now these two are the available standard values. In a circuit, if you want to connect a 15 microfarad capacitor, it is not available here. Okay. Now to get this 15 microfarad capacitor, what we have to do is, we have to combine the available values. So that is the use of combination of capacitors. Using the available value to get the desired value of capacitance, we can use combination of capacitors. Okay. Under this, three possibilities are there. Under that, first one is series combination of capacitors. Okay. Series combination of capacitors. In our syllabus, we have a discussion of series combination of two capacitors. Okay. Now consider two capacitors. First capacitor and second capacitor. Let C1 be the capacitance of first capacitor and C2 be the capacitance of second capacitor. Now this combination is series combination of capacitors. Now what is exactly series combination of capacitors? See, in case of series combination, when you connect this series combination to some external battery or external potential difference, external source, there is only one path is available for the flow of charges. Okay, for the flow of charges from one point to another, a closed path is required. So now if you connect a battery to this combination of capacitors, for the flow of charges, only one path is available here. Now this combination is called series combination of capacitors. Two or more than two capacitors are said to be series. Two or more capacitors are said to be in series if only one path is available for the flow of charges. If only one path is available for the flow of charges, then combination is said to be series combination. Now let us consider the charging process of this series combination. Imagine the series combination is connected to some battery, external cell or power supply or battery, which produces a potential difference of V. Let it be the positive terminal, let it be the negative terminal. Observe the connection. First plate of first capacitor of capacitance C1 is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and last plate of the combination, that is right plate of second capacitor, is connected to negative terminal of the battery. Just recall the charging process of a capacitor. When an uncharged capacitor is connected to external battery, positive terminal of the battery removes electrons from the plate which is connected to positive terminal, and those electrons are delivered to another plate. That was the condition we discussed earlier, that is charging of a capacitor. Now same thing happens here. Now this positive terminal of the battery which is connected to left plate of first capacitor will remove electrons from this plate, okay, first plate of capacitor, and those removed electrons will be transferred to last plate of the combination, that is right plate of second capacitor. That means as time passes, this plate becomes positively charged, or amount of positive charge in first plate of the combination increases with the time. At the same time, negative charges will be delivered to this plate, so amount of negative charge in the last plate of the capacitor increases with the time. If you consider the magnitude of charge, in this case, if plus Q is the amount of charge stored in this plate of the capacitor, first capacitor, equal amount of negative charge will be stored in the last plate, that is minus Q. Okay, plus Q and minus Q. Now what about this plate, that is right plate of first capacitor and left plate of second capacitor? Second plate of first capacitor and first plate of second capacitor. Actually, these two capacitors are connected here. This represents a connection between two capacitors. We know that any electronic circuit is connected with the help of a wire, which is nothing but a conductor. Now this is a conductor. This is plate of the capacitor, which is once again a conductor. Okay, conductor. This is also a plate of capacitor, therefore it is also a conductor. Totally, if you consider this part, it is equivalent to a single conductor. It is in the shape of capital H, H-shaped conductor. It is uncharged actually. That means it will have equal amount of positive and negative charges. Uncharged conductor it is, but the presence of positively charged conductor here and negatively charged conductor here will result in charging by induction of this particular region of the capacitor, or this particular part of the circuit. Now this is uncharged part, that means it will have equal number of positive and negative charges. Out of those equal number of positive and negative charges will be attracted towards this plate due to positive charges present here. force between positive and negative is attractive. So if this is plus q, here amount of charge will be minus q because the process is charging by induction. Equal amount of charge is induced here. At the same time, the positive charges present in this part of the circuit will be attracted by negative charges stored here, so that positive charges will accumulate here. Okay. So this plate becomes positively charged. Once again, if you consider the magnitude, it will be plus q. Okay, plus q. I think it is clear. Battery charges the combination, removes the electrons from first plate of the combination and delivers the electrons to the last plate of the combination. So this plate becomes positively charged and this plate becomes negatively charged. If plus q is the amount of charge here, same amount of charge will be stored here, that is minus q. Next, this part is a conductor, two plates, conducting plates connected by a wire which is once again conductor. It is neutral conductor. Here there is accumulation of positive charge. Due to that, in case of this neutral conductor, charging by induction takes place. Negative charges will be attracted to this side. So minus q will be the charge on this plate. At the same time, positive charges will be attracted by negative charges of this plate. So positive charges will accumulate here. Again, magnitude is equal to plus q. I think it is clear. So in case of series combination, we can consider two important points. That is, only one path is available. In case of series combination, only one path is available for the flow of charge. Okay. In case of series combination, only one path is available for the flow of charge. That is one condition. And another condition is, if you consider the amount of charge stored, okay, charge stored in each capacitor, charge stored in each capacitor will be equal. Amount of charge stored in each capacitor will be equal. Instead of series combination of two capacitors, if I use three capacitors here, I can use n number of capacitors, no problem. If three capacitors are there, C1, C2 and C3, what will be the condition? Positive, negative charges will be delivered to this side. Okay, due to charging by induction, this plate positive, this plate negative, again charging by induction positive, here charging by induction negative. Again, if you consider the magnitude, plus q minus q. If we use 4 capacitors, again plus q minus q. That means in case of each capacitor, amount of charge stored will be equal. Amount of charge stored will be equal in series combination. I think it is clear. So remember these 2 points, very, very important. Let us restrict our discussion to combination of 2 capacitors. I think it is clear. Okay. Now, only one path is available for the flow of charge in case of series combination, and if you consider the amount of charge stored in each capacitor, it is equal. That is equal to q. Now, what about the potential difference across each capacitor? Potential difference. What is the potential difference across each capacitor? Let us remove this battery. Instead of representing battery, let us represent the potential difference here. Okay, potential difference V. Now this represents battery itself with the plus and minus. Okay, V. See, now come to the circuit. Now, in case of first capacitor, its capacitance or capacity is C1. In this capacitor, a charge of magnitude Q is stored. So, when a capacitor stores charge Q, we know that potential between the plates of capacitor is directly proportional to Q. So, due to charge stored in first capacitor, a potential difference is produced between the plates of capacitor. I will consider these 2 points as or between these 2 points this capacitor is connected. So potential difference between the plates of capacitor 1 V1. Second capacitor carries a charge of Q2. Again, due to that charge, potential difference is developed across the plates of second capacitor. Let it be V2. Amount of charge stored in each capacitor is same, but what about the potential difference? Now, in case of a capacitor, we know that potential V is given by Q divided by C. Q divided by C. Q divided by C. Now, in case of series combination, Q is same. In all the capacitors, amount of charge stored will be same. Therefore, we can write, since Q is same for all the capacitors, we can write V is inversely proportional to C. V is inversely proportional to C. That means potential difference between the plates of capacitor, that is V1 and V2 values, are decided by the capacitances C1 and C2. Q is same, therefore potential difference V1 and V2 are decided by C1 and C2. If these two are identical capacitors with the capacitance C1 is equal to C2, identical means capacitors of equal capacitance, then V1 will be equal to V2. Otherwise, potential is inversely proportional to capacitance. Now, let us write the expression for potential difference between the plates of capacitor. Potential difference, first condition, between the, or potential difference across first capacitor, that is C1, it is represented as V1 here. V1 can be written as amount of charge stored is Q divided by its capacitance is C1. Let it be equation number 1. So, we used this formula, reference equation for this derivation. V is equal to Q divided by C, relation between potential difference, charge and capacitance of a capacitor, Q divided by C1. Similarly, potential difference across second capacitor, that is C2, that is represented as V2, can be written as Q is same divided by its capacitance C2, equation number 2. Okay. Now, potential difference from, if I consider this point as A and this point as B and this point as C, potential difference between the points A and B is V1. Potential difference between the points B and C is V2. Then what is the potential difference between the points A and C? It is nothing but it is V. So, potential difference across the combination. Therefore, potential difference across the combination, series combination of capacitor, it is nothing but V. So, it is the potential difference between these 2 points. Now, what is that V? Here to here potential difference is V1. Here to here potential difference is V2. Therefore, this V can be written as V1 plus V2. So, potential difference is equal to V1 plus V2. I think it is clear. In terms of charge and capacitance, potential difference across first capacitor, potential difference across second capacitor, then potential difference across the combination V is equal to sum of potential difference across each capacitor. If you have 3 capacitors here, one more term will be there, plus V3, 4 plus V4 and so on. Here it will be Q divided by C3, Q divided by C4 and so on. Now, substitute these two, equation 1 and 2 in equation 3. On substituting equation 1 and equation 2 in equation 3, we get V is equal to Q divided by C1 plus Q divided by C2. Okay. So, which means, or which is equal to, Q is the same, take it outside, Q into 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2, or from this we can write V divided by Q. Bring this Q on to left hand side, V is equal to this much, so V divided by Q is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Take it as equation number 4. Okay. So V divided by Q is equal to C1 plus C2. Now, if the combination between the points A and C is replaced by a single capacitor of equivalent capacity. What do you mean by that equivalent capacity or equivalent capacitance? Equivalent capacitance means it is the, or equivalent capacitor means it is the capacitor, a single capacitor which produces same effect as that produced by these two. For example, if you have two 9-watt LEDs in a room, if you switch on those two LEDs, first one will produce certain amount of intensity of light in room, second one will produce certain amount of intensity of in room, there will be certain brightness. Okay. Is it possible to replace those two 9-watt LEDs by a single LED? It is possible. We can replace those two, instead of those two lights, we can use one light. But the one light is said to be equivalent light only when if that single light produces same amount of intensity as that produced by two sources. Okay. If two 9-watt bulbs, LEDs produce same intensity, a particular intensity in a room, if a single LED, for example 15-watt LED, if it produces same intensity as produced by those two 9-watt LEDs, then that 15-watt LED can be called as, it is the equivalent. Okay. Here also we used two capacitors. With the help of two capacitors, we stored a charge of magnitude Q. If this combination is replaced with a single capacitor, I will write the circuit here. Instead of two capacitors between the points A and C in the combination A and C, between these 2 points I removed this series combination and replaced it by an equivalent capacitor. Okay, equivalent capacitor. Let its capacitance be Cs. The single capacitor is said to be equivalent only if it produces same effect as that produced by the combination. That means when you connect this single capacitor to the same potential difference, then it will store the same amount of charge as stored by the series combination. Now, what is the total amount of charge stored in this series combination? That is very important. Okay. I will write here, total charge stored in the series combination is equal to Q. It is not equal to 2Q. Okay. Here Q, totally Q plus Q, 2Q, it is wrong answer. It is Q, because whatever the battery connected to the combination stored charges between first and last plate of the capacitor. Useful charge is stored between first and last plate of the capacitor. In the remaining part, charging by induction took place, only rearrangement of charges took place, isn't it? So, useful charge is stored in first and last plate of the capacitor. Therefore, whatever may be the number of capacitors used in series combination, what is the total amount of charge stored in the combination? It is equal to charge stored in one capacitor, that is equal to Q. If it is the case of 2 capacitors, 3 capacitors, 4 capacitors or n capacitors, what is the total amount of charge stored in the combination? That is equal to charge stored by the individual capacitor. So, total charge stored in series combination is equal to charge stored in a capacitor, that is equal to Q. Remember this point, important. So, if that is the case, this capacitor is said to be equivalent capacitor only if it stores same amount of charge, that is plus Q and minus Q when it is connected to the same potential difference. isn't it? Same potential difference. Now, if this is the case, potential difference is V, amount of charge stored is Q. So, therefore, we can write for this case, okay, for this particular case, I will write here, for this particular case, potential difference V can be written as amount of charge stored in this capacitor is Q divided by CS, or V divided by Q is equal to 1 by CS, equation number 5. So, we connected two capacitors in series, we connected the combination to some external potential difference V. Due to that potential difference, capacitors were charged from first plate of the combination. In case of first plate of the combination, there was accumulation of positive charge, last plate negatively charged, in between charging by induction. Amount of charge stored in each capacitor is same, that is equal to Q. Potential difference, it is decided by the capacitance, because we know that V is equal to Q divided by C. Q is the same, therefore potential value is decided by C value. So, potential difference across first capacitor V is equal to Q divided by C1, potential difference across second capacitor Q divided by C2. Next, total potential difference across the combination V is equal to here V1 plus here to here V2. Therefore, we got this expression V is equal to V1 plus V2. But V1 is Q divided by C1, V2 is Q divided by C2, therefore Q into 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2. On rearranging this, V is divided by Q is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. In the next step, we replaced this series combination by a single equivalent capacitor of capacitance CS, which produces same effect as that produced by the series combination. Under that condition, if CS is the capacitance, it will store a charge of magnitude Q, because total charge stored in series combination is Q only. Therefore, potential difference, if it is V, then V is given by Q divided by CS. So, V by Q is equal to 1 by CS. Now, we have two equations, equation 4 and equation 5. In equation 4, we have a condition in which we have a series combination of two resistors connected across V volt battery. In equation 5, it is related to equivalent capacitor. Actually, since this is equivalent capacitor, these two conditions are same. Therefore, since left hand sides of these two equations are same, then we can write, from comparing 4 and 5, from equation 4 and equation 5, comparing the equations, right hand side of equation 5 is 1 by CS is equal to here 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Okay. 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Now, this is the expression for capacitance, effective capacitance when two capacitors are connected in series. Okay, series combination. The question will be like this in board exam. Derive an expression for equivalent capacitance when two capacitors are connected in series. This is the final expression. 1 by CS is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. So, that is the final expression for capacitance. So, first combination is series combination. Here derivation is expression for capacitance, equivalent capacitance. Expression for equivalent capacitance of two capacitors in series. 1 by CS is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Okay. I think it is clear. 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. So, remember all these points. Series combination means, in case of series combination, only one path is available for the flow of charges. Next, in case of series combination, charge stored in each capacitor is equal or same amount of charge is stored. Okay, same amount of charge is stored in each capacitor, and if you consider the total charge stored in the combination, it is equal to charge stored in a capacitor. Okay, that is Q, and this is the derivation, important from the point of view of board exam. Let us discuss a few extra points here. I think the derivation is clear. Next. See, for this particular condition, the final expression was 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Now, this gives an expression for equivalent capacitance when two capacitors of capacitances C1 and C2 are connected in series. Okay. So, now this equation slightly, we can modify this equation slightly. 1 by Cs is equal to, take the common denominator, C1 C2 over C2 plus C1. That means Cs is equal to, reciprocal is equal to C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. While solving the problem, if C1 C2 values are given, what is the effective capacitance when two capacitors are connected in series? If it is asked like this, you can use this expression to calculate Cs value. Okay, C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Second condition, instead of two capacitors, if three capacitors are connected in series, okay, if three capacitors are connected in series, then 1 by Cs is given by 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 over C3. Effective capacitance of three capacitors in series. We can connect n number of capacitors. Okay, n number of capacitors. If n number of capacitors are connected in series, 1 over Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus etc. plus 1 by Cn. Okay, 1 by Cn. Next, if capacitors are identical, fifth one, if n identical capacitors, here we used different capacitors, first one of capacitance C1, second of capacitor C2, C3 etc. Cn, n different capacitors. Instead of that, if you use n identical capacitor, n identical means capacitance of first is equal to capacitance of second is equal to 3 etc. Is equal to Cn is equal to some C. N identical capacitors of capacitance C, if it is used in series combination, what will be the effective capacitance? 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 is 1 by C plus 1 by C plus etc. 1 by C n times, isn't it? N times. So, n times 1 by C, that means 1 by Cs is equal to, C is the common denominator, we have there are n terms, therefore it is n divided by C, which means Cs is equal to C divided by n. Important formula from the point of view of competitive exam. When n identical capacitors are connected in series, effective capacitance is given by Cs is equal to C divided by n. For two identical capacitors, Cs is equal to, n is equal to 2 here, therefore C divided by 2. For three identical capacitors, Cs is equal to C divided by 3 and so on. So, for n different values, this is the effective capacitance. For n identical capacitors, effective capacitance is Cs is equal to C divided by n. Okay, C divided by n. Next, next is see this capacitor C1, capacitor C2, if the combination is connected to V, okay, combination is connected to V, across first capacitor V1 potential difference, across second capacitor V2 potential difference, Now this is replaced, can be replaced by equivalent capacitor Cs with the potential difference V. Okay. Here charge stored is Q, charge stored in this capacitor is Q plus Q minus Q plus Q minus Q. Here also amount of charge stored is plus Q and minus Q. In case of series combination, the charge stored in each capacitor is same, that is equal to Q, and energy charge stored in equivalent capacitor is also equal to same value. Okay. Since Q is same for each capacitor, V is inversely proportional to C. Therefore, if you consider the ratio of V1 and V2, then V1 divided by V2 will be C2 divided by C1. If C1 is to C2 is in 1:2 ratio, then V1 by V2 will be 2:1. Okay. So to calculate the potential across each capacitor, you can use this condition. Potential is inversely proportional to capacitance in series combination. Okay. Now, let us consider one simple example for this series combination, which will give you a clear idea regarding the combination. Let us consider the case of combination of 3 capacitors in series. 3 capacitors in series. This is example. So 3 capacitors are connected in series like this. Let capacitance of first capacitor be 1 microfarad, capacitance of second be 2 microfarad, and capacitance of third be 3 microfarad. Now C1 is 1 micro, C2 is 2 micro, C3 is 3 microfarad. Okay. Now, what is the effective capacitance or what is the equivalent capacitance of the combination? Such type of problem may be asked in board exam. When 3 capacitors of capacitances 1 microfarad, 2 microfarad and 3 microfarad are connected in series, what is the effective capacitance of the combination? How to calculate the effective capacitance? Now, effective capacitance of the combination or total capacitance of the combination, combination 1 by Cs is equal to, the formula is 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. If it is 2 capacitors, then remove this part, 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Substitute the values, 1 by 1 into 10 power minus 6 micro it is, plus 1 by 2 into 10 power minus 6 plus 1 by 3 into 10 power minus 6. Okay, 10 power minus 6. So 1 by Cs is equal to, what is the effective value now? Take the common denominator, 6 into 10 to the power minus 6 over 6 into 1. Here multiply by 3 to get 6. So therefore plus 3 here into 2 plus 2. Okay. So therefore 1 by Cs is equal to 6 plus 3 9, 9 plus 2 11, 11 divided by 6 into 10 to the power minus 6. We want to calculate the equivalent or effective capacitance of the combination. Effective capacitance of the combination is Cs, not 1 by Cs. Therefore, Cs is equal to, effective capacitance means Cs is equal to 6 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 11. Okay, 6 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 11. So therefore Cs is equal to 6 divided by 11. You can calculate the value using calculator. 10 to the power minus 6 is there, microfarad. This is the equivalent value. Now, if 1, 2, 3 are the standard values of capacitors, and in a circuit if you want to connect a 6 by 11 microfarad capacitor, then what we can do is we can connect these 3 capacitors in series instead of connecting this single capacitor. Okay. Actually, in a circuit, if it is a circuit between the points A and B, actually our requirement is we want to connect a capacitor whose capacitance is 6 by 11 microfarad. But this value is not available. Okay, it is not available, that value is unavailable. If it is available, then we can connect it only single capacitor. But it is unavailable, then what we can do is we have these 3 values. These 3 values, if those 3 values are available, then between the points what I can do is I can connect these 3 capacitors like this: 1 microfarad, 2 microfarad and 3 microfarad. 3 microfarad. Now what is the effect? Now effectively it is equivalent to connecting a single capacitor of capacitance 6 divided by 11 microfarad. Okay, so our target is achieved. That is the use of series or combination of capacitors. I think it is clear. Okay. Okay, let us solve more problems related to combination of capacitors in a later part or in the next video. I will stop the discussion here. In the next class, I will solve few problems. At the same time, one more combination is remaining, that is parallel combination of capacitors. Okay, thank you so much.